It's being reported that Aaron Rodgers was at the Pittsburgh Steelers facility today. Jerry Dulac reported Aaron Rodgers was at the Steelers facility today, an indication a deal with the team could be forthcoming. Per sources, Dulac wrote on X. The first domino fell earlier this week when it was reported that the Minnesota Vikings are not going to pursue Rodgers and instead stick with 2024 first-round quarterback J.J. McCarthy. Despite that news, national NFL insiders insisted that his timetable for making up his mind has not changed. While the four-time NFL MVP is in Pittsburgh, NFL Network's Tom Pelissero reports that no deal is done or imminent at this time. Rodgers also reportedly has another offer on the table from the New York Giants, so maybe he will go meet with them in person as well. For what it's worth, the Giants' actions have indicated that they aren't confident in their ability to sign Rodgers. They have prepared a contingency plan with 3 other veteran quarterbacks recently visiting them in New York. NFL insider Josina Anderson reported earlier this week that the Steelers felt closer to a resolution with Aaron Rodgers, and they haven't been linked to any other veteran quarterbacks on the open market. They prepared their backup plan when they signed Mason Rudolph to a 2-year deal, although they are reportedly prepared to move forward with Rudolph if need be. That wouldn't be the ideal outcome. If nothing else, there are now signs of life in a potential Rodgers deal. Up until today, he had largely stayed out of the public spotlight while remaining at the center of the media attention for well over a week. The waiting game will continue for now, but at least the Steelers should have better idea of where they stand after meeting with face-to-face with Aaron Rodgers. The Pittsburgh Steelers absolutely need Aaron Rodgers. I'm tired of the fan base and so-called NFL insiders trying to indicate, that Aaron Rodgers is washed up. The man threw for over 4,000 yards last year. He threw for 28 touchdowns. He had better numbers than Josh Allen. He's far from washed up. And the Pittsburgh Steelers need him as a bridge for the 2026 NFL Draft. And it's fine. We can go into the season with Mason Rudolph as the starter. We all know what's going to happen, how we're very limited at advancing in the playoffs and to the Super Bowl. So everybody can live in la-la land or let their political views scur their vision, reality of who and what Aaron Rodgers actually is. And Aaron Rodgers gives you the best chance to win. It's not Aaron Rodgers' fault that there's not a lot of quarterbacks on the free agent market and that the NFL draft this year is absolutely horrendous when it comes to quarterback play. Cam Hayward says he wasn't trying to call out Aaron Rodgers, and I agree. I don't think Cam was calling him out. But Cam, there's nothing with saying, hey, I'm going to give him a text. Aaron, I'd love to have you here. We really need you. You're our best chance to win. What would be the big deal, Cam? You know you need the guy. You recruit other players. So it just makes me believe you're full of you-know-what. You're full of it. You took that attitude because you don't like his political stance, and you know it. Because any other player, you wouldn't have said it. I don't think you were calling him out. But your attitude of, F him, I don't give a F, when you're in probably your last year, your last chance to win a Super Bowl, that's completely the wrong attitude to have. And there's only one reason. I know you love football more than anything. I know you want to win a Super Bowl more than anything. So for you to take that attitude, you know what it tells me? It tells me that it's political. Appearing on the Rich Eisen show on Friday, Hayward said he doesn't feel that he called Rodgers out and that he's just focused on winning. Everybody gave me crap. They said I called him out. I don't think I really called him out. I just said I wasn't going on a darkness retreat to recruit him. But if he wants to be a Steeler, he can be a Steeler. That's the pitch, he said. I don't know why everybody thought, oh, Cam's really going at him. Some fans felt, oh, yeah, keep doing that. And then other fans felt like, oh, man, you're really going to scare him off. I'm not scaring anybody off. I just want to win games and play good football. Well, Cam, if you want to play good football and you want to win, Aaron Rodgers is your best chance. So your comment, I didn't think you called him out. But you could have did enough to make him feel more welcome, meaning Aaron Rodgers. This whole media narrative that Aaron Rodgers wants the Steelers to chase him all over the planet and get on a jet and beg him to be their quarterback is just an absolute lie. Chad Ochocinco spinning that. Shannon Sharp, the moron, is spinning that. It's an absolute lie. The Pittsburgh Steelers are the one telling Aaron Rodgers, you could take your time making the decision, but we need to know by this date before the draft. And if you stop looking at things through a political spectrum, you would know that. Rodgers was reportedly at the Pittsburgh facility today to meet with Art Rooney II, Mike Tomlin, and Omar Kahn. While it could be a sign Rodgers is getting close to a decision, Hayward said he's not reading too much into the four-time NFL MVP visiting with Pittsburgh today. Plenty of people who show up and then don't get signed. Hayward said, I'm not putting stock into that. That's not my decision. Omar, Mike, y'all handle that. Y'all figure it out. And I agree. You can't put too much stock into it, but it's better than him just not answering them. Justin Fields didn't even respond to the Pittsburgh Steelers contract offer, so it gives me some hope. And the Pittsburgh Steelers fans, for all of you brainwashed liberals who are making this political, saying, F Aaron Rodgers, we don't need him, you're just showing your mental disorder. For anybody to say that we don't need Aaron Rodgers going into the 2025 season, either as a starter or a backup, you're just a flat-out liar. You are a liar. It's a lie. Anybody who signs, I welcome to the team. I don't have an ego and think we can't win with a guy. He said, I get excited for a team. You bring a guy on like that, he's got a good knowledge of the game. I think he can only help, Hayward said. Well, Cam, you should have had that attitude from the beginning, not after you took criticism. You need the guy. You don't have to like him, but you need him. Bart Scott blasted Najee Harris. He called him an ungrateful dude for his recent comments about the Pittsburgh Steelers. You ungrateful dude, Scott said on ESPN's Get Up Friday morning. Listen, how fortunate it is for you to be in the playoffs every year of your career. That doesn't just happen. And when you leave sometimes, you realize how good you had it.
Ungrateful dude. Like, I mean, listen, how fortunate is it for you to be in the playoffs every year of your career? Like, I mean, that doesn't just happen. And when he leaves, sometimes you realize how good you had it. Now, he's going to a place that maybe have their future quarterback, but it's going to be the similar philosophy as, the Chargers are trying to build their team with bringing over Mekhi Becton to be a team that's going to base on the run game and not really throw a lot, similar and play great defense. That's how Harbaugh builds his team, similar to how Mike Tomlin built his team.
I understand, but
I couldn't disagree with Bart Scott more. I think Najee's very grateful. He was one of the best teammates you could have on the Steelers. Great attitude, great game preparation, never missed a game. Always positive no matter what was happening. He didn't play with good offensive lines. He didn't play with a good quarterback. He went over 1,000 yards every season. He's entitled to his opinions. I never felt for 1 second that Najee Harris was bitter, and that's why he said those things about the Steelers. So I believe that Bart Scott is just saying this because he's trying to defend Mike Tomlin, and it really has nothing to do with Najee. I think Bart Scott looks at this like Najee Harris is saying something negative about Mike Tomlin, and Bart Scott's trying to come to Tomlin's defense. Darnell Washington reveals costly welcome to the NFL moment. I like Big Country. He's a great player, great attitude. He always puts the team first. He does the little dirty things that you need guys to do to win football games. And I don't mean play dirty, the blocking. He never complains. He doesn't care if he catches passes. Whatever you ask him to do, he does it. So I'm a big fan of Big Country. In an interview with Zach Tex Turf, while the two built a PC, Washington said in his welcome to the NFL moment came in his rookie season when he fell asleep during training camp. After practice, we got meetings, and meetings typically last from, I want to say, like 4 to 5, all the way until 9 at night. I typically go back to my room and just sit there, turn on a game, play a quick game of 2K, Call of Duty, or whatever it may be, he recalled, and I fell asleep. I woke up at like 9:10, so everything's over. I missed team meetings. I missed the offensive meetings. I missed position meetings. Since Darnell Washington didn't hear from anybody about not showing up to the meeting, he thought no one noticed until he found out how much his nap would cost him. The next day, I'm just thinking everything's fine. I thought they didn't notice me, he said. Come on, Big Country. You're 6'8", 280 pounds and run like a deer, people notice you. He said the fine was $17,000. Wow, that was an expensive nap. Damn, I didn't think he'd get fined that much. Washington said he hasn't missed anything since that instance, and during his rookie season, he refused to go back in his room after practice and would instead sit on a bench somewhere on the campus of St. Vincent College. Wow, that's funny. For Washington, it was certainly a costly lesson to learn, but it quickly showed him that the NFL is a lot different than college, and he's the only one who's going to be responsible for himself. That was hysterical. I'm not going back to my room. I'm sleeping right here on the bench. That's funny. Adam Schefter reports Aaron Rodgers had a positive 6-hour visit with the Steelers. Adam Schefter, he tweeted, X'd, whatever you want to call it. Aaron Rodgers spent about 6 hours at the Steelers training facility today, meeting with their coaches. It was said to be a positive visit, and the two sides will stay in touch. There's also been some speculation about George Pickens getting traded to the Las Vegas Raiders because he posted a picture with Tom Brady. I mean, I don't want to read too much into that, but I wish the Steelers would trade him to the Raiders. It's time to say goodbye to George Pickens. We should stick to the plan. Go with Ibuka from Ohio State in round 1. A team guy, a guy that likes to block, also catches passes. If George Pickens wants to go, let him go. No big deal. I could care less. I am officially over George Pickens. If I never had to mention his name again in my life, I'd be completely happy with it. Then George will do things like that. He'll post a picture, and he knows that everybody's going to say things about it. Now, it could just be a tribute to Tom Brady. I don't know. Who cares? But he knows, because there's been rumors about him, meaning George, being traded, that it's going to stir up rumors. And then he sits back and he's like, oh, you see, everybody's picking on me. You should forget what I did on the field about costing the Steelers 15-yard penalties for unsportsmanlike conduct penalties every time I touched the ball or did something stupid. I'm going to get you to focus on this and say you're mistreating me because I posted a picture. These are just the manipulation games and childish tactics that George Pickens uses, and I'm sick of it. George Pickens has nobody but himself to blame the way he's perceived, good and bad, by Steelers fans and the rest of the media.